Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. Sure, lots of people stream video games on the internet, but nobody plays video games like we do. Join me for the games released at sometime in November 1982.
This has been a Melman production.
We were last in Japan checking out the Sword M5 and Bosconian. Let's see our next game. Next game is in the arcade, and oh, I love going to the arcade. Here is Bubbles. Just Bubbles. Not to be confused with Bubbles that we saw for the Apple II in 1979. This one is only in the arcade, and I mean no ports. No one has put this anywhere else. It is only here in the arcade. And it is our 486th game that we've played or seen or showcased here in the arcade. It's brought to us by our friendly neighborhood Williams Electronics. It's the 14th game that we've seen by Williams up to this point, and most of them have been in the arcade. This is the 12th game that has been in the arcade by Williams. They brought us bangers like Defender, Stargate, Robotron 2084, Splat, and Joust. And here is their latest. Whatever your flavor of type of cabinet, it's a lively cartoon animation, it says. Sure, you flip the advertisement over on the back. Yeah, it's got dimensions because it's sold to the operator. They want to know all the specs for the system. Here's the example of the arcade cabinet, or one of them. I found two different examples. This one looks very different than most arcade cabinets that you'd see, but there's the tabletop version, which is, from my understanding, is even more rare to find. But this one looks like a traditional Williams arcade cabinet, most likely a conversion kit. But you can see there, artwork on the outside and bubbles everywhere. Yes, right? It looks like it should be a 3D printed one. There's the arcade PCB inside, and here's the example of the control panel, or one of them. All of this is the joystick. That's it. We just have an 8-way joystick, 1 or 2 players, and that's all you need. Another example of the control panel here too. And at home, Williams has only done a couple things. They've only done Defender on the Atari 2600 and on the Intex Adventure Vision, and that's it. Everything that Williams has done to this point has only been in the arcade. Yeah, there's our arcade marquee for Bubbles. Oh man, he looks like he could pass for a cartoon character, but he also looks like an aged old man at the same time. It's very difficult to describe, but he's supposed to be a cartoonish character, I guess. There we go. That's what we got for Bubbles. Now, the manual I have, or instruction manual by Williams, will tell us how they describe the game. How do we play Bubbles, or what is Bubbles? After we go through most of the technical mumbo-jumbo, you can see they usually describe everything. Do you have all your parts? Because you spend a lot of money on this arcade cabinet. Make sure you got them all before you put them together. And then they break down the power, turn on, game operation, joystick. When you have everything, including the kitchen sink, the player is represented by a growing bubble. There's 3 bubbles per game. The object of the game is to clean up crumbs, greases, and ants by floating over them. How bizarre, as far as the video games we've seen up to this point. Each one so disposed makes for a bigger, more imposing bubble. At the end of each round is signaled by a whirlpool. And then the soap opera continues. We got briny brushes, spiny sponges, and rambling roaches, and razor blades in the game too. They're just the dirtiest, filthiest sink you can imagine. And then they break up how the broom works, and once the sink is clean, the drain will flash green, and we can move on to the next screen. And then the rest of the manual really doesn't have any more about how the game's played. We'll just figure it out. That's kind of what you did in the arcade anyway, right? So for different versions, we have the solid red label, a prototype version, and the first one in the United States, and that's where we're going now, to the arcade. This is by John Kutlaric, Tim Murphy, Python Angelo, at some time in November 1982. So John and Tim had both worked on Joust before this version. So this one, they kind of went on their own and made Bubbles. All right. Oh, look at that guy. You can move the joystick up for high scores, or you can move down for instruction. And watch this. It has a whole tutorial, a tutorial mode in this game. It explains everything, and I always liken Nolan Bushnell when I see this stuff. He always said arcade games are meant to be without instruction. You just go and you play the game. And now we're getting more and more arcade games that have walls of text that are explaining what the game is and how to play the game. All right, I think we got the idea, or the general gist of the idea to this point. Yeah, and this is going to go into a track, but let's put a coin in and hit start. And there I am. I am the soap bubble right in the middle of the screen. As I move around picking up greasies, as they call them, I grow in size. I can also pick up the tiny ants and collect them. The more things that you collect, then you get bigger and stronger. It's like you're morphing or changing to a more powerful bubble. What you have to avoid, though, is the brushes, and you got to avoid the cockroaches that are all over the place. If you get them, they pop your bubble. Oh, the bubble fell in. Oh. And then we move on to the next round. If you do collect everything before anything else does, then you can move to the next round. The old lady in the brush, or the cleaning lady, is going around collecting points for you. So you can actually pick her up if you wait long enough. See, she's actually picking up ants and greasies too. And whenever you get a chance, you can pick up her and get all the points included with that. So I think one of us got him. You got to avoid those cockroaches. But you can see, look how massive the bubble is now. And the controls, though, I hate to say the pun, but they're very slippery. And I think that was the idea. We haven't seen anything that's quite like this concept. If you do get maxed out, though, you get a brush. You see how I have an extra brush? Now I can go get some revenge on, only one cockroach can you get revenge on. You're a Bubbles pro. I'll take it. How do I go? Oh, yeah, moving to the right. So you can put your high score in. Very cool. And very quaint. What's the story behind this one? How come this wasn't put anywhere else? Why is this only in the arcade? Because most of the games we've seen by Williams were ported. All right, so let's put another coin in. You can see they got a massive high score table like they do with Defender. It's awesome. we do need a sponsor for this. If this was brought to the Intellivision, it would be licensed by Mr. Clean. At least right now. So the control is just the joystick, so they're keeping it simple. Get a brush, yes. Kill a cockroach. Very, very satisfying. Oh, we got to get this little ant there. There it is. Clear everyone or everything you're supposed to pick up, then you move on to the next level. Oh, we got a razor blade. Don't touch the razor blade. You can see the cleaning ladies brushing up, and then whenever you want to roll over the cleaning lady, then you'll get also the brush that comes with it. No, don't let it go in. And then get the ant, we should be good. You also, if you see the drain flashing, you can warp to the next level. But it's just going further and further. Now we finally got some greasies. This will make us grow larger in size. So, very, very simple concept. Definitely an arcade game. The resolution of this game and the color of this game pops. It seems to be something that is right on the borderline between the golden age of arcade games and what we're going to get to come. But the gameplay of this is very much like a golden age arcade game. You can see the score attack premise, the drive to go forward, and to tell you the truth, while we're not going to see this game for quite a bit of time, it has the trappings of the game Marble Madness, because you're rolling around or moving around, sliding as the bubble. So it really feels like, oh, the brush got me. It almost gives me vibes of that, like a precursor or prototype of that game. But as you can see, as we go further on, it's going to get more and more powerful. Of stuff all over. It's going to be the dirtiest sink we've ever seen in our lives. All right, but no more mentioning games that we're not going to see for a long time. All right, let me get that cockroach. Yes. Don't let anything go in. And then, yeah, if you want to, you can get a cool warp animation, which is kind of nice. It's once again another video game that is using a theme with insects or bugs. We've seen that mainly because of Centipede. We've had a lot of video games that have the same similar trope. But this one, you get to clean up house. It's also a game like Cleaning, which reminds me of Wiping that we saw in the arcade. Terrible name, but it's the concept that let's go and clean up while we play the video game. We'll go and put our high score in here. Oh, yeah, we haven't seen that one yet. And go to the right. Oh, and you're the best Bubble Pro. You can put your initials in again? All right, I'll do it. Get the high score, and there it is on the high score table. Because we're the first ones to ever boot up the system, we get to the top score. But hey, I like the score table. It reminds me of Defender and those other games. And go. Oh, yeah, and getting larger with things that you eat. Yeah, definitely. Yep, I can see that too. Go, go, go. out of here. If you do want to push into one of the brushes, you just lower in size a little bit. It kind of gets it. Oh, the bubble's too small. Darn. We needed to be bigger. We must pick up everything. Notice how simplistic the first part starts, and then later it ends up going just crazy with the amount of things on the screen. Get out of here. I don't know about that one. As far as looking in the chat at what Manly says, I know that they were trying to find more female audience of video games, you know, with games like Centipede, Pac-Man, and so forth. I don't know if they're going to get any women to play this one, or if this appealed to the female demographic. There. Don't go over that razor blade, kids. Alright, so of the other games that I mentioned by Williams, I can kind of see this one a little bit as the black sheep, but it's really not, you know, that bad of a game when you consider all the games you could be playing in the arcade right now. But I can see this one as the lower tier one just because of the amount of content that it has. Joust, in my opinion, is one of the biggest, best, not just by Williams, but in the arcade in general. And then maybe Splat would be a close one to this one. Not nearly as popular, and I can understand why. But this game is yet another reminder that we're going to find resolutions in the arcade getting higher and higher, color depth getting higher, and things are just going to start improving and pushing the arcade world. One of the big things we've seen is the rivalry between Sega and Namco. They're the ones that are going to be pushing the arcade even further and further as we move forward. Yeah, right? Yes, that's really funny hearing Curtis say that this is a weird concept. If you've been here since the beginning and seen us play every video game up to this point, it's kind of strange to call this one weird, considering the other ones that have been out there. Uh-oh. It's filling up. Okay, we got it. Nice. Because at this point, we played video games already that have had a theme with cooking, a theme with firefighting, you know, like, oh, hit the razor blade. Those slippery controls. This one actually works in its favor. It's kind of cool because it feels almost in the way like you're driving a vehicle, a slippery vehicle. And maybe that's how it started. Maybe the developer said, oh, let's make a driving game, but this one's just too slippery. And then they just changed the character into a bubble and it worked. It made you feel like, oh, this makes sense. But the controls are slippery because they're supposed to be. Don't touch the razor blade. I'll take that brush, but I don't think I need it. Yeah, love it. You get extra points if it's weird. But hey, it works well for an arcade game. It is very fun to play. It's enjoyable. Why wasn't it ported? Why was this one the one that is not as popular when it comes to the other Williams titles that I mentioned earlier? The big ones out there, Robotron 2084 is still, you know, top tier. Defender and Stargate, of course. And it's quaint and funny, and it doesn't take itself seriously, too, and it gets points for that as well. So now if you wanted to think of all the games we've seen up to this point in the arcade, starting all the way back since 1971, what would you give Bubbles of all the games we played up to this point in the arcade? Bear in mind, Donkey Kong's out there. Donkey Kong Jr.'s out there. So many really big heavy hitters. I can see how this one would be passed by, but you have to admit, I'm sure people put a quarter in because they hadn't seen anything quite like this, and they said, I just want to try it. What's it like to be a bubble or play as a bubble? Let's give it a shot. Oh, when you get too big, though, you can't slip by, and the razor blade gets you. So looking over the chat, I see a 3.5, some 4 stars. Yeah, still sticking with a 4-star rating. Why not? There's our taste of Bubbles, here on Chronologically Gaming, where we play everything, not just in the arcade. Well, we're here in the arcade. We play on consoles, home computers, and on handhelds. So everything you can play right now in the arcade, I actually want to concede with a couple of the ratings in the chat. Most people are saying about average. There's a 3-star from M. Tiskey, and then other people are saying 4s. I'd say because of how original it is, and the control actually works. It's not like top tier when you think of arcade games. So I wouldn't go as one of saying the best that you could play in the arcade, but I'll still say 4 stars. A very excellent arcade game and enjoyable, especially for right now in the arcade. And then another 3.5-star. Nice. All right, after that, let's see what our next game is.
Gaylord
The one we've already covered, which was Capture last episode on the Arcadia 2001. Let's see what our next game is. Our next release takes us to the TRS-80 color computer. This is Ketchum. Let's check out Ketchum. All I got is screenshots because it's pretty hard to come by. Not even advertisements for this one. Let's pop it and play Ketchum. This is by Dave Edson, published by Aardvark 80 at some time in November 1982. So I believe this one is machine language. Ketchum. This should be confused. Oh, another one. This one's our 157th game we played for the TRS-80 color computer up to this point. Whoa! Oh, beware of flashing lights. Dave Edson really wants to flash everyone. This is our 19th game we've seen by Aardvark across all systems all over the place, and the second game we've seen by Dave Edson. The other one was Venturer, which I highly recommend. Venturer was like Venture, the one with Winky, but here on the TRS-80 color computer. All right, and there you go. You push your action button, and you're in. Yay, analog joystick. It is another Avalanche variant, because you got to catch them. What? Oh, very nice. So when you go between phases, you push the action button when you're ready. So that means you can go get a drink after you finish one round, go take a sip of something, and then come back and catch some more. See, right there. And it's marking us at the top. Look at the top left. It's like keeping track of the items you're going to be catching. Yes, another variant of Avalanche, Kaboom. That's right. Very cool. So at the top, it's different items, and they're going faster and faster. I like that. It's like progressively letting you know you're going to be catching what's next. Kind of like whenever you play Pac-Man. You're picking up the different fruits, and you want to see what the next one is. Ready? It takes utmost concentration. But yay, analog joystick. That's pretty cool. So this one is a ball and paddle game that we refer to on the show, and that goes back all the way to Pong. You know, this is the 181st game we played that is a ball and paddle game. This one is the 13th Avalanche variant we've seen. Avalanche was the first game we played like this that was in the arcade by Atari, and then soon after that we did see Kaboom by Activision on the Atari VCS. They beat him to the punch before they could do one officially. Avalanche was April 1978, and then we did see Avalanche on the Atari home computer in 1981, and then a few of the other ones we've seen for the Coco have been Popcorn, and oh, I've dropped it, and does it show where we left off? Oh, we get to do it again, nice, because we get flags for lives, I think. So cool idea. I like how they're marking where you've left off at the top. No way, 15 or 16? That'd be another a teenage developer that we've seen since we've done the show. Another one that's on the Coco is the Starship Chameleon game. That's kind of a league of its own. It's a different one. But another really good one that's an Avalanche variant has been Lost Luggage for the Atari 2600. And then one of the best, I would say, up to this point for games that are like this was Chicken for the Atari home computer. That one had excellent presentation, played really well, used paddle controls. Ooh, man, this is awesome. So we're getting to new levels of Ketchum. And because Dave Edson decided to mark it at the top, it makes me want to keep going. Yeah, I want to see how many items I can catch before I drop them all. Only thing I don't know is we don't have instructions, so I don't know if we get an extra one-up. It's still going. Oh, gosh, and it's getting so fast. What? I don't know how I'm glad we got 3 levels that are catching everything. Yes, Starcade. I'm going to show a clip of Starcade that's coming up soon. Oh, no. Is that our last life? Oh, it just, we lose one of our platforms. Oh, that's going to make it even harder. Why'd you do that? Oh, only one left. Here we go. I don't know if we can do it with just one. This is so tight. At least I know there's... No, and I missed at the end. So, very fun, though. I still prefer analog controls, at least for this style of game, over anything digital. Any of the digital joystick, analog works better. But even a top tier above that, I'd say the paddle, in my opinion, is even better for this than the analog joystick. So we got digital, like the Atari VCS controller, and then analog joystick, and then I would say paddle is top tier if you're going to play anything like this. So there you go. That's Ketchum. Quick taste on the TRS-80 color computer. Up to this point, I would say that Popcorn would be a more refined title and actually plays more like Avalanche itself. Starship Chameleon that's available for the TRS-80 color computer, it's kind of a league of its own because you have to match the color to pick it up. But this one's still a good time. I'd say still around the average range for all the games you could play up to this point on all home computers. Oh yeah, if you love Kaboom, you'd love this too. Yeah, right? Yeah, it's a decent game. It's programmed very well. Mostly threes. Is it unanimous 3 from the chat? Oh, there we go. Looks like Kimwall gave it 3.5, and then Mark's going 3. I'll still say it's pretty much average for every game you could play on all home computers right now. Going 3 stars with Ketchum. After that, let's see what our next game is. Coming up next is another game for the TRS-80 color computer. I promised an Avalanche, and here's our next one. This is Caterpillar. This one, we do have an advertisement flyer. This is again by Aardvark. And this should be confused with Caterpillar from Seaload Magazine on the TRS-80 from 1981, or Caterpillar that we're going to see later by Rugby Circle. This one is our 158th game for the TRS-80 color computer that we played. Where is it? Oh, there it is, bottom left. They even have a little graphic. Nice. Caterpillar looks a lot like Centipede. Hey, at least they're telling us. We got spiders, falling fleas, monsters traipsing across the screen, poison mushrooms, and a lot of other familiar stuff. Color 80 requires 16K and joysticks. Yes, there's the example of the screenshot, and that's it. Let's pop it and play Caterpillar. This is, again, Dave Edson and Aardvark at some time in November 1982. They're back. The 20th game by Aardvark. I believe this one is machine language too, right? Let me see if I can do it right. Caterpillar. Did I get it right? At least loading it correctly. Anytime you get something machine language, it's going to be much faster than basic. I think I got it. Yes, and we're in. That fast. There's no info. There's no title screen. You just come in the game. Okay, so once again, analog controlled joystick feels pretty cool to play a Caterpillar style game. Caterpillar style. Centipede style game. See, I'm buying into the marketing. I know, listen to the silence. No one can hear anything when you play Caterpillar. Also, notice the Caterpillars aren't changing color. Oh, the background doesn't change color either. Wow, oh wow. So our third game by Dave Edson that we've seen so far on Chronologically Gaming. Another video game with the theme of insects. But that's thanks to Centipede in the arcade. Thanks, Atari. At this point, we have seen Millipede officially in the arcade as well. This one's kind of cool because the analog joystick works great to move your Centipede around. I mean, look at this freedom. It just feels better than the other digital joystick games we played. No, don't get me. See, I can move up. Avoid the spider. Oh, it reset itself. How many heads do you have? What? Wait a second. Did one of them just grow? I think it went from the top again, right? I think that's... Oh, and that's it. And there you go. That's Caterpillar, or a very quick look at Caterpillar. So at this point, we've played quite a bit of games that are Centipede variants. This is the 31st game that is not official Centipede, some variant of Centipede on all systems. On home computers, this is the 28th Centipede variant that we played. And on the color computer, this is the 3rd. We've already seen 3 other games. I would say Colorpede is the best right now. We gave Caterpillar Attack pretty average for all the games you could see up to this point. So I'd actually say this one it works okay because of the control. It is still very simplistic. So looking over in the chat, most people are giving averages, 2.5s, 3s for every game you could see. Yeah, Brad says it works. Yeah, we're very thankful when video games work. Here on the show, we even have a rating for broken. If you think this game's broken out of all the games you could play on home computers, then you'd rate it somewhere around here. But if you say it's just bad, if you think it's bad, you say it's somewhere around the 2-star range, but then average would be somewhere about here in the 3 stars. So yeah, it looks like no one's even going to 3.5. I'll concede as well. There is better Centipede games and video games in general, but I'd still say fairly average for everything up to this point. Even Nick's throwing out a 3-star rating, then it's got to be average. There you go. Caterpillar. It was not the best. Colorpede, I'd still say, is the best right now on the TRS-80 color computer. Caterpillar Attack still around the same for everything up to this point. All right, after that, let's see what our next game is. It's still on the TRS-80 color computer. It's a Cocoa Night. What can I say? Our next game is Chopper Rescue. Let's check it out. Here's the advertisement flyer for Chopper Rescue. It's by Prism Software. The very first game we've seen by Prism Software. Find a Prism Software game that came out before this. This puts you at the controls of a rescue helicopter. Your mission is rescue as many victims as possible from a burning city before it is reduced to ashes. It is in basic, and it's only $14. What a steal. There's the example of the screenshot. Let's pop in and play Chopper Rescue. This is by Robert A. Shaw. Prism Software at some time in November 1982. This is the second game we've seen by Robert A. Shaw. He did Raiders, which was kind of an homage to Raiders of the Lost Ark. One of the first times we ever saw Indiana Jones anywhere. All right, so I think this one is just, since it's basic, run to the chopper. This is our 159th game we played for the TRS-80 color computer so far. And this one is not to be confused with Chopper Rescue. That's done by Microprose and Sid Meier, which we have seen. So it's definitely not the same Chopper Rescue. Oh, yeah, he is going to do some awesome ones later. So I haven't done anything. I haven't touched anything. The game just went right into it, and then we crashed and died. We got game over. That's the experience you get sometimes with basic games on the TRS-80 color computer. Oh, thanks. We didn't do the poke this time. Okay, so bear in mind, there's only one game we've poked here on Chronologically Gaming, and that was Wizard War, because I really wanted to show something a little original and unique. This one we are not going to poke. We're just going to go in and play the game as this. Here we go. Ready? And now I want to play Chopper Rescue, and we died again. You got to be really quick on the draw, because if you touch anything while you're flying the helicopter, you will blow up, and we did again. All right, so let's try it again. Okay, there you go. And now we're in. Don't touch the walls, whatever you do. And it looks like we're already going to lose somebody. See, the way the game works is it said burning building, but it really looks like it's a demolished building, because watch how the building slowly melts down, and whenever it gets to the bottom, then whoever you're supposed to rescue has disappeared. But what you're supposed to do is maneuver your chopper right here over the top, and then you're pushing the action button, trying to get them. Come on, climb. What are you doing? Climb. No. And I touched the wall and died. We're the worst rescue mission ever. So you can see the hit detection is pretty unstable. You really got to be in the exact spot to pick up and rescue everybody. All right, nice and easy. I don't know if the ceiling will kill me or not. Easy now. Not too much. The movement and inertia, you really can feel that TRS-80 color or the analog joystick drift. Grab it. Yes, we got him. I don't know how. He finally grabbed the rope. This guy did not want to die. All right, now you got to be nice and slow, because if you come in too fast, it's almost like a lunar lander. You will die. What? Oh, wait. Were we supposed to drop him with the cable? We're not supposed to land? I already got a rating. Nick's already thrown out 1 star, which means he's calling the game broken for everything that's available right now on all home computers everywhere. Come on, Chopper Rescue. All right, maybe we use the action button to pick up and then drop. Oh, we're not going to catch that guy. You're a goner. Sorry, buddy. All right, yeah, and you got to make sure you also don't drop them too high, because they'll fall to their death. Thanks to Defender, we've been killing random bystanders. No! Don't touch it. Go back up. Did I get him? Whoa, that was bizarre. I flew I flew into him, and it slightly lifted him up, but it didn't capture him. We still haven't got 1 rescue. This is Chopper Rescue, and we've killed about 5 people so far. All right, come on. We can do it. Yeah, that's a good point, too. It's a color computer, but it's all in green. This is, I believe, one of the video modes that the Coco can do. Oh, no. Why didn't that pick you up? Why didn't that pick you up? That was right on his head. He should have easily have grabbed the rope right there. Come on. Oh my gosh, finally. This is not Chopper Rescue. This is Chopper Destruction. Okay, nice and easy. Why isn't it? What? The action button didn't do anything. I couldn't drop him. So, yes. Yes, you have to use the analog joystick for your speed, and it is so touchy. Oh, his hand. Okay, the one that's reaching up to the sky. Okay. Is that why it works sometimes, not the other side? Thanks, Curtis. Come on, nice and easy. No, make it on his hand. This building is going down fast. Whoa, that was right on his hand. Here we go, yeah. Come on. That's true. It's not the TRS-80 Colors computer, it's the color computer. So just the fact that it's not black and white like the TRS-80 Model 1 or 3, it counts. Okay, how do I not crash? Or lose this guy? I really don't want to go... I think I'm just going to be blowing the helicopter up. I really don't want to go down. Wait. it dropped him and we got points. Yes, we got points. We actually rescued someone. He did not die. Yes, there we go. Thanks, Curtis. If you hold it down, then he survives. Nice. So it was one rescue for Chopper Rescue here on Chronologically Gaming. Well, that one's rough. Of all the games we've seen up to this point, this is our 22nd game where you get to pilot a helicopter or fly a helicopter. We played Fire, that was on the Commodore PET, one of the first games with an isometric view where you could save people from a burning building. That was in the 70s. Then we also played Hellfire in the arcade by Nintendo where you're in flying a helicopter. Armor Attack had helicopters, and the Vectrex in the arcade for Armor Attack. Super Cobra has you flying a helicopter on the Adventure Vision in the arcade. And then Chopper Command on the Atari 2600 has you flying helicopters. Chopper Raid on the VIC-20 and Sky Army in the arcade are all examples of helicopter games and all examples of games with helicopters that I'd rather play instead of Chopper Rescue. This one, this one has you rescuing and saving people as a helicopter, and so we played some video games that are like that as well. Helicopter Rescue on the Magnavox Odyssey 2 was a better title than this one on the home console. And then the phenomenal Choplifter is out right now on the Apple II, on the Atari home computer, and on the VIC-20. And then, of course, we mentioned Microprose. That one blows this one way out of the water. In the arcade is Rescue, another fantastic game where you're rescuing people in a helicopter. And then another really fun game, you're not rescuing people, Buried Bucks is on the Atari home computer where you're grabbing money with your helicopter. All those games fare much better as far as video games than I would see up to this point for everything you can play up to this point. Chopper Rescue, though, I'm looking over in the chat. I see some people saying in the bad range, 1.5, 2 stars, but see, I see a 2.5 star rating, and then I see a subpar for everything else up to this point. That's true. It is in basic. I'm going to say this is around the average range for every game you can play up to this point. I actually will not call this bad because of putting the mechanics in. It's kind of a rare title. So I'm actually going to give Chopper Rescue a 2.5 star rating of all the games you could play on all home computers right now. It's admirable because doing what you need to do, it's obviously not blowing you away like Choplifter or Buried Bucks or Chopper Rescue by Microprose, but it's a noble attempt and a very fun time. Oh, that's right. You cannot control the helicopter in Towering Inferno. That is true. All right, that's where we got to put our video game playing on pause. Thanks so much for joining me on this color computer-filled evening, even if the color is just green. Next time on Chronologically Gaming, they have done it. It's a miracle, but they have done it. Zaxxon on a calculator. Well, on the Timex Sinclair 1000 home computer. Come and play in all its isometric glory. That's it for today, and like I always say, video game evolution is about freedom. Every game that offers the player more freedom ends up being a monumental hit and pushes the ceiling ever higher to better video games. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.